Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! My wife turned 30 this week. I'm 26 male. We've always had a strong relationship and I love her so much. My wife has a best friend from childhood, Jimmy, 28 male. I didn't know him that well, but this year we've gotten to know each other and have gotten close. He's my favorite bud and like an older brother to me in a lot of ways. My wife goes all out for my birthday parties and I love them. She's more of a stoic introvert. So I thought it would be nice to throw her a surprise 30th birthday with just her and me and make it a special event. I wanted to make her a gift she would love. Jimmy's an incredible artist and for the past 2 months, I've been taking lessons from them. My wife was curious why I was spending so much time away from home with Jimmy, but I made vague excuses because I couldn't tell her I was making a gift for her. She's made a couple comments but never seemed upset. I told her a week before her birthday that I had made plans with Jimmy. I have a job with flexible hours, so it's not uncommon for me to do it. She wasn't upset or anything. When her birthday came, it was all I could do not to say anything. When she left for work, I put my plan in action. I decorated the place, I brought out the cake, and I learned from YouTube and stored it at our friend's house. I got a dozen bouquet of flowers, and I got her a few other gifts too. She was supposed to come home at 5:30, but she didn't. I waited hours for her, but she didn't come home. I called Jimmy and he said he hadn't seen her. I called her and she didn't pick up. I checked her location and she was at a restaurant. I went to that restaurant and she was there with her friends. They were eating a birthday cake and she had presents. I never met these friends of hers before. I think they are from work. She seemed sad, she wasn't smiling or energetic. I wanted to take her home and show her my gift, so she would be happy. I came over to her and told her she had to come home. We grabbed her things and left. On the Uber back, she didn't say anything. At home, she started crying. She has been sleeping on the couch and she avoids me. My wife hasn't talked to Jimmy either. I told my mom and she called me a jerk. I don't know why, honestly. Am I in the wrong here? And now for some comments. You are in the wrong. You didn't use a critical piece of surprise party planning when you have her home at a certain time for a good reason. You just made it look like you were blowing her off, and she made other plans. You honestly just made it look like you remembered her birthday at the last minute and went overboard to try to make up for it. Instead of apologizing, you forced her to appreciate your thoughtfulness. You are in the wrong. You told her you had plans on her birthday and she made her own plans. When you plan a surprise, it's on you to make sure the person will be available. The plans she made with her friends were not less important than your poorly executed surprise. You are in the wrong. You shouldn't be interrupting your wife's dinner for your awful execution of her birthday surprise. You also seem really hung up on the fact she went out, which is odd to me. Perhaps the dinner plans only materialized that day. Friend: Hey OP's wife, what are you doing for your birthday tonight? OP's wife: Nothing. I think my husband forgot. Friend: No. You aren't doing nothing for your birthday. We are going to get dinner. Maybe your wife looked sad at dinner because she thought her husband didn't do anything for her birthday. Back in Halloween night, I was at my brother and sister-in-law's house to go trick-or-treating with my nephew Connor and his friend Adam. My brother and sister-in-law are super into CrossFit, so when Connor was able to do a 20-inch box jump, I thought I could do too. Turns out I could not. I fell and landed on my elbow. My sister-in-law came out and immediately helped me, and I assured her that this was my ego that got me hurt, and she and Connor were not to blame. She thought he goaded me into it. Later that night, I was in extreme amount of pain, so my mom took me to the hospital. After a lot of running around, it turns out I have a really bad bone bruise. I'm not supposed to lift any weight with that arm until my physical therapist says otherwise. I was finally given the green light to start PT last week. The person I'm seeing is a student, but the person supervising her, Anna, turned out to be Adam's mother. Small world. I hadn't met her on Halloween night because Adam's dad dropped him off and came back to get him while she stayed home with her younger kids. We talked about the kids and it was a nice connection to make. Yesterday I went back to my brother and sister-in-law's house for Thanksgiving. While my sister-in-law and I were chatting, she mentioned that Anna told her that we met while I was being treated at PT. I didn't say anything at the moment because I knew it would upset my sister-in-law, but it really bothers me that Anna told my sister-in-law I was being treated by her, and by extension where. My sister-in-law is not listed as someone they can reveal any information to. I now feel insecure at the thought of going back to that same physical therapy location, and I'm going to get my information transferred to another facility. I just can't know what else may have been revealed about me or what else Anna may say to my sister-in-law or anyone else. I want to file a HIPAA complaint so that this is looked into because I don't want this to happen to anyone else, and I want better training at this place going forward. I don't want an apology or anything like that because it honestly won't make any difference for me, but it might make things awkward for my sister-in-law in the future, and I don't want to potentially affect Connor and Adam's friendship, but this is really bothering me too. Would I be in the wrong if I filed a HIPAA complaint? And now for some comments. I'm a licensed therapist. This is a major breach of therapist/client confidentiality, as well as a HIPAA breach. Please report. You are not in the wrong. Well, you're not in the wrong, but what she shared was certainly a violation. Anna should have not done that. That said, you are definitely going to be disrupting a bunch of your personal relationships, your sister-in-law being the biggest. I would expect a pretty distant relationship going forward. And the harm to you is what exactly? Your sister-in-law know what PT clinic you are going to. You're not in the wrong. My father has gotten physical therapy from my husband, and my husband would never even confirm he was providing PT. Any information I want, I ask my dad directly. You have a right to privacy. My wife and I just got married a couple of months ago. We live in a house that solely belongs to me, purchased before marriage. My mother-in-law has been contemplating divorce from my wife's stepdad for years, and thinks she's finally going to start the process within a couple of months. She asked us if she could live with us for a few months while she begins her new life, and we said no. Are we the jerks? Her reaction was pretty bad and we felt awful. In the end, we told her if it was between her living on the street and living with us, of course we'd help her out. But we feel there is a lot of other ways she can go about this, and our home should be a last resort. We explained that we've just begun our lives as a married couple and we need to put our relationship first. It's also a small house and I don't see it being practical to have her living with us. Mother-in-law and I both work from home and I think it will be a huge disruption to our lives because of that alone. Among other things like intimacy with my wife, feeling comfortable in my own home and so on. What do y'all think? And now for some comments. You're not in the wrong. You and your wife are doing a great job maintaining boundaries with your mother-in-law. It is not your responsibility to house her. Like you said, if she literally has nowhere else to go, that's a different story. But I'm sure there are other options for her. You are not in the wrong. You shouldn't even have left the door open with that last resort comment, because she might force those circumstances. She can ask for this as a favor, but her reaction means there is no way you should consider this. Coming from someone who allowed a family member starting the divorce process to move in with them a month after getting married, you're not in the wrong. My wife and I had just gotten married and were faced with a request similar to yours a week after our wedding. One of my family members. Not much later, we had a new roommate. What was to be a few months turned into 8. My marriage almost did not survive. There are plenty of ways for you both to support mother-in-law and be there throughout the process, but you are absolutely within your right to say no. Do not let anyone shame you into thinking otherwise. Our family went to Thanksgiving last night and I refused to let either of the two sister-in-laws hold our 4-month-old baby. He wasn't feeling the greatest, so I used that and him needing a diaper change or a nap as an excuse when either of these women wanted to hold him. My husband was pissed, but I feel like my reasoning is perfectly acceptable. So I want to know, am I in the wrong? First, sister-in-law is a heavy abuser of pills. Pills of any kind and will take uppers and downers any chance she can get. She was even caught stealing her sick father's morphine and is so high she can barely take care of herself. I was informed last night that she will be attending Thanksgiving because she got a refill on her bills. Knowing that she slept through her daughter 3-year-old getting outside and that she's barely wizard enough to talk every time I've met her, I feel confident in my choice of not letting her hold my son. That second sister I have issues with stemming back from high school and it may seem petty, but that's why I'm here. Back in high school, I was bullied by several popular girls. I couldn't walk anywhere without being called nasty names or hearing nasty rumors about me. I'd sit in class with these girls spitting spitballs into my hair, and once my backpack was stolen. My school books and homework were shredded, and my personal journal was taken and shared with who knows how many people. Needless to say, my high school years were traumatic and heartbreaking. This sister-in-law was part of that girl group. Fast forward many years. She's married to my husband's brother. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt that she had grown up and we were now adults, and neither of us acknowledged our high school days. As a matter of fact, at the last family gathering, I thought that we had hit it off and had some good conversations. I later found out that she was telling my husband's family that I was a bad mother for having 2 white claws while at the gathering. Her reasoning was that I was breastfeeding. However, I fed my son before I had any drinks and did not breastfeed him again until much later that evening. We had bottles prepared just so I could relax and enjoy myself a bit. I then heard that she was complaining to the family about how our family is always doing something. It was meant to be an attack on us, although it just came across to me as jealousy. In the end, I feel I gave her another chance to redeem herself, and she proved to me that she hasn't changed much from the 15+ years since we graduated high school. And for that reason, I didn't feel that I should have allowed her access to my son either. In all honesty, I feel that no matter what my reasons are, I should absolutely be able to choose who I do and not let my children around, and whether people like it or not is too bad. But apparently that is not okay with my husband. I was made to feel like complete garbage for that choice, and he did not have my back during this ordeal, and now I feel like trash. Am I in the wrong here? And now for some comments. All that reasoning is good enough for me. You're not in the wrong. You are not in the wrong. Both of those people seem horrible, and most importantly, you as a mother don't feel comfortable. That's already a reason enough. You are not in the wrong. No one is entitled to have access to your son, and I wouldn't even be trying to have a relationship with either sister-in-laws. I wouldn't want the abusive one anywhere near an innocent child. People like that rarely change. They just change their targets. I feel like I should edit and update. I did just talk with my husband about this after my post, and here is where we ended. I initially was under the assumption that he did not agree with my decision, and he assured me that he does agree with me and my reasons for not allowing them to hold him. But what he did say was that he's upset because he feels the decision makes it difficult for him to interact with his family because he doesn't want to be put on the spot if either of them asks to hold a baby. He does not want to cause problems with his family by saying no to them but allowing others to hold him. This is why he was angry with me last night, because it made it difficult for him. So in my mind, he's willing to allow unsafe or inappropriate interactions in order to not rock the boat. That being said, I feel like I know who the jerk truly is in this situation. I've been best friends with Jeff since 7th grade. He spent a lot of time at my house because his parents are very strict and religious. I had a cool laid-back mom and everyone wanted to hang out at my house. Jeff got close to my mom and pretty much lived there unofficially during high school. My mom hates the woman I'm marrying. It's a work in progress, and I have had to make a lot of sacrifices to defend my fiancé. Jeff is aware of all the drama that has been going on and, for the most part, doesn't offer his opinion. Though he has occasionally told me no relationship is worth losing your mom over. My mom and my fiancé got into a huge fight over my mom's dress for the wedding. That issue actually worked itself out because my mom found out she's pregnant. So she couldn't wear the offending dress anyway. And she is very happy about the baby and doesn't care about fighting with my fiancé anymore. Jeff heard about the dress drama from my mom when he was hanging out with my cousin at a family cookout which I did not attend. Jeff sent me a text calling my fiancé a controlling, insecure little girl and saying I'm an idiot if I would lose my mom over some witch. He admits he had been drinking when he sent it and said he's sorry for calling her a witch, but his sentiment stands. I did tell my fiancé what he said and decided I can't have a best man who doesn't support the relationship and who disrespected her. I told Jeff he's still invited but can't be the best man. He took it alright but admitted he's worried about our friendship. My mom told me that I'm a horrible friend and becoming a fake person. She said she would never have a best friend she couldn't be honest with. And she wouldn't marry someone who was so sensitive that she had to protect him from words. Our friend group is pretty split 50-50 on this, so I don't know if I overreacted. Am I in the wrong for doing this to Jeff? And now for some comments. Are you in the wrong? I mean, there is probably a lot more to the story and why your mom and friend don't like your fiancé, but based on the content of your post, your reaction is justified. What was the issue with the dress? Was it white? I was in the same boat until I read mom wanted to go to the wedding in a very revealing dress and balked when my fiancé asked her to choose something different. Mom is clearly in the wrong here, and given that the best man is agreeing with her over a dress, what best man cares about the mother of the groom's dress? He is clearly a flying money type. I also find it interesting that mom is pregnant. I'm not going to go so far as to say she did it to upstage the bride because while I know people who are literally that crazy, it's rare. But it does mean the mother of the groom is fairly young, and mom felt the need to be the fun, rules-free parent growing up. My guess is mom is having some insecurities around her age and is taking it out on the OP's fiancé. I'm sorry to hear that this has gotten so messy, and I know it must really suck to have these two relationships in a balance. Assuming your fiancé isn't some terror in your personal life and you're not mentioning it, I think you're doing the right thing. Thank you for watching and see you next time.